Hello, everyone. This is Dr. B from Steps to the Future, coming to you this week with what I hope will be an informative live stream for you to give you some information about some items that may be of use to students that are preparing for their college journey. I know we're in the throes of college admission season. I know my seniors are working on their essays, not hoping to get, but definitely working on getting their applications in for some of those early deadlines. Some of us are working toward the regular decision deadlines, but it's all good. It's just important that we make sure that we get everything in before it's due. So, we're going to take a quick 30-second break, and I'll be back with you for stepping into September. Hang on a minute. Hey, and we are back. I hope you had time to go grab a quick drink or to get a pad and notepaper. Pad and notepaper, that's kind of like redundant to get a pen and a pad or some notepaper or something to take notes on. Or you can always watch this on the replay. So please make sure if you're out there watching, make sure you join in the conversation because it just makes it so much richer to have a conversation with someone rather than talking to myself. So again, Dr. B here with Steps to the Future. So stepping into September, let me pull up my my presentation. I've learned that for me, I have to have something in front of me as a presentation. If not, I will just ramble on and it just makes me a little crazy when I do this. So again, stepping into September, I know we're almost at the halfway point for September, but now that people are settled into school, um, high school students are back in school, elementary school students, middle school students, and our college students are back in school. So let's dive right into this. So I wanted to share this quote with you. Many of you who know me know that I have this quote on my email signature and many other places. You know, education is the passport to the future. For um, Tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. This is a quote that I have loved for years and years. I actually have like this giant poster that I used to have in my social studies room and in my school counseling office back in the day when I was with the East Providence School District in Rhode Island. And really speaks to the heart of where we are right now. Our students need to be preparing for what's coming up in the future. Part of what they're doing in high school, what they're doing in middle school, what they're doing in elementary school is preparing them for the future. And part of our responsibility is to help give them the tools and resources that they need along the way. So again, what is it that you can do to help your student? Maybe it's taking them to the library. Maybe it's ensuring that they have books to read, that they have the supplies they need for school, or finding out where they can get those supplies. It is so crucial that we support our children in their education and help them understand how important it is to be prepared for it now. Okay, with that little sermon done, let's move on. So one of the things I wanted to introduce to some of you already know about this because there's been a great outcry, not outcry, but some wonderful social media marketing around this wonderful program. So it's called Access Companion, and it is a collaboration between the Independent Educational Consultants Association and Oregon State University Ecampus. Now, let me tell you how this came about. So, at a board meeting, and this was actually before COVID because we were meeting in person, one of our board members, Maitai Halley, had an idea about how during conferences that we could work with students in the area at a local high school, wherever the conference happened to be located at that particular time. As the discussion kept going and people kept talking about it, and people reaching out to partner with other folks, this is the final product. It is amazing. It is a free resource for any student that will walk them through how to use the Common Application. It's just amazing. I've been watching the videos and going through all of the different slides and what have you. So if a student is using the Common Application for their college admission purposes, these are the topics that they will find. Now, I'm going to use my little cheat sheet over here because I don't know about you, but for me, this screen is small on my end. So some of the topics that they will look at, first of all, gives you an overview of college admissions, tells you how to create a Common App account, goes on to do so many other things. I'm not going to read all of these, but submitting test scores, should you or should you not submit test scores? Writing the personal essay, which I'm finding some students are not so much struggling with, but it is a challenge because students aren't necessarily used to writing self-reflections. And this is really an opportunity for students to tell their story, and they're not always used to doing that. So some of the other topics they will find in here: tips for the Why Us essay, student follow-up after submitting your applications, how colleges review applications, then financial aid. It is so crucial that we have these conversations about financial aid. 2 weeks ago, I had Mark Salisbury, who is the CEO of Tuition Fit, on as a guest. And if you did not catch that live, please go back in either to the YouTube channel or onto the Facebook page and listen to that interview, because we talk about the importance of understanding affordability and doing the research ahead of time so that there are no surprises when that college bill comes in. So on the Access Companion, you will find information about sticker price versus net price, understanding need-based aid, understanding FAFSA, and the CSS profile, two very important documents when students are applying for financial aid, understanding loans, understanding merit aid, and building a smart college list. And then there are some writing videos and resources that will help you write the activities section of the Common Application, writing the personal essay, the supplemental essay, and the Why Us essays. Essays are important, and it's really crucial that students understand what each one of these essays requires of you, and also to understand the prompt. So please look at this. It's free. It's for any student anywhere in the world. Easiest thing to do, either go to accesscompanion.org, or if you're watching this, just get your phone, get that QR code, and it will take you straight to the website. So again, this is a wonderful, wonderful resource. I am so thrilled and so proud of my organization for collaborating with Oregon State University Ecampus and putting this together, because it is amazing. Not every student has an independent consultant or a school counselor. Now, I know back in the day, when I was a school counselor, we had pretty big caseloads, and I'm finding that in a lot of cities, in a lot of states, that ratio of student to counselor is still pretty high. So for families that are out there and you can't always necessarily get some of the one-on-one you want from your school counselor, because in addition to doing college counseling, they're doing a myriad of other things that are required of them within their schools. So this is a great opportunity and a great resource for people to use at no cost to help you navigate through the Common Application. So again, if you have any questions, let me know. We can also reach out to folks at IECA who were part of this initiative to get this done. And if you're out there, please comments, let me know. Let me know if you're hearing this. Let me know if you're out there. Always love for people to join in. Now, one of the things that's happening, college fairs. This is another way for students to find out about colleges. If you're not able to visit a campus, this gives you a wonderful opportunity to learn. So just recently, so actually this yesterday, NACAC had one of the first of their virtual college fairs, their fall college fairs. It was 1 to 6 p.m. And as you can see on this particular slide, there's one coming up in October and another one coming up in November. And they're typically on Sundays, later in the afternoon into early evening. So here are some hints. So like when I did mine yesterday, I knew there were going to be quite a few colleges there. And you cannot go into a college fair and think, oh, I'm going to watch every session. I'm going to ask questions of every student panelist. You really have to go in, look at the list of colleges, choose what colleges that at this particular time you want to get information about, and just really pace yourself because it can be so overwhelming to go in there and just go from one session to another session. So when I went in, I had looked around earlier prior to the college fair going live. And I said, oh, there are several sessions here on the University of Michigan. And I wanted to know more, especially about their Ross School of Business and also about their kinesiology program. And they had sessions on those. So those were the two sessions. I actually went to 3 sessions, but those were the 2 that were the most helpful to me and most informative to me. I was able to take notes. I was able to write down some things that I want to have for later on. So again, when you go into a college fair, know that you do not have to try to visit every college that's there. Now, once you register, you can go in and you can see what colleges are going to be there ahead of time, because not every college is at every college fair. Some of the sessions are live, some may be pre-recorded. So again, go in, register. Registration is free. Find out who's going to be there and really think about what is it you want to know. Now, as they're talking, listen to what they're saying because your questions may be answered as part of the presentation. But if not, know that you can go into the question and answer section and put in your question, and they're just fabulous about answering your questions. So again, great way to learn about a college, great way to demonstrate interest if a college is looking for demonstrated interest. And it's just a good way just to get out there and start creating your college list. And you don't have to do this. This isn't only for seniors. Anyone can join, anyone can log into the college fair. You just go to this URL, or as you see on the screen, there's a QR code there. Just, put your phone on it and you can go ahead and register. So that's the NACAC virtual college fairs that are coming up. Again, another one in October, another one in November. Now, some of the other things that are happening. Now, SACAC is the Southern Association for College Admission Counseling. NACAC, which is the National Association for College Admission Counseling, is the parent organization for SACAC. SACAC is one of many regional affiliates of the National Association for College Admission Counseling. Happens to be the region that I'm in. So it covers all the southern states. If you're not in the southern states, your regions will also have an affiliate. So if I was still in Rhode Island, it would be NEACAC, N-E-A-C-A-C. There's PNACAC, there's WACAC, which is the Western Association for those out there on the West Coast. So right now, SACAC is offering some admissions workshops. Again, these are at no cost. All you have to do is go on and register, and they're open for anyone. You don't have to be in the southern region in order to take part in these. And as you can see, there's one coming up September 18th about the Common Application. So this is a great thing to watch in conjunction with that Access Companion resource that I showed you at the beginning. So register, log on, and find out more information. The next workshop that's coming up that you see on this particular list is actually geared toward parents and giving parents some strategies and tips on how to support their students during this process. So that is something I would definitely recommend, especially if this is your first go round. When this is your first child going to college, there are a lot of questions that you may have about, what do I do? What's my role in this? What should my student be doing? What should I be hearing about? What are all these acronyms that are thrown at us? I don't understand any of this. So that will give you some great information. And for those of you that are interested, there is the URL that you can go to, and you can register for the SACAC at college admission workshops and get some more information. Now, I know you will see this particular document quite a few times because it's so important that students understand their different admission options. And when you look at a college, you will see that they will have several admission options. Not all colleges have all of these. Very seldom will you find a college with all of these. So regular decision, rolling admission, early action, early decision, and restrictive early action. Those are all admission options that when a student has chosen a list of schools that they're going to apply to, they have to say how they plan to apply. Are you going to apply regular decision? Which is usually regular decision. Deadlines can be in January, February. Most of the time they're after the Christmas holidays. Rolling admission means that when you apply to a school, they will read the application and make a decision a lot of times within 3 to 4 weeks, sometimes sooner. If a school has rolling admission and you're going to apply to them, you usually will get a response if you apply earlier in the application season, because as more applications come in, now it's going to take the admission readers and the admission counselors and the admission representatives a little bit longer to go through all of those applications. Early action is you apply early. That could be as early as October 15th. Some of the most common dates are like November 1st and November 15th. So you apply early action. It means you will hear back early. But here's the neat thing. You have until May 1st to make your decision. Now, for some colleges, it's important that you apply early. So you have to look at what it says about early action and regular decision. Sometimes when you apply early action, that also makes you eligible to be put into the pool for certain scholarships if you have the academic profile for them. So, for example, I know that at NC State, sometimes there are some scholarships that are available, but you need to apply by early action. Same for quite a few other colleges. Sometimes you have to apply early action depending upon what it is you're going to major in. So, for example, I'm just kind of like talking about NC State only because I had been looking at some of their information earlier in the day. If you wanted to apply to one of NC State's design programs, studio design programs that require a portfolio, you have to apply early action. Part of that is because in addition to getting your application in, you have to get your portfolio in, and that portfolio is usually looked at by, some faculty members and what have you who are looking at your work. So they need that time in order to do it. So that is one reason for applying early action if you're applying to a particular major that requires it. Now, early decision is the one that's binding. What that means is you're using those same dates as you would use in early action. However, once a college accepts you, you have signed a contract ahead of time saying that if I am accepted to this college, I will withdraw my applications from all other colleges and I will attend your school. Now, usually at the time that you get the admission decision, and if it's a yes for early decision, you'll also get information about your financial aid package. If the financial aid package is not such that your family will be able to afford it in their budget, this is when you go and have a conversation, whether it's in person or through Zoom or on the phone with someone in the financial aid office, and explain the situation to them. If for some reason that's the amount that still is being awarded to you, then you do have the ability to withdraw that application and now reach out to other colleges. So if you're going to apply ED, really, really know that that's your first choice. Know that that is the school that you really want to go to, because again, it does shut off some of your other options by doing this. And then restrictive early action, there are a handful of colleges that that have this policy where you can apply to them early, but they have restrictions on how you can apply to other colleges. So really you need to look this up and make sure you understand the differences between all of the admission options for you. So let's move on here. One of the things I love telling people about, because there are opportunities out there that were not around when I was in college, which I know it was a long time ago. Yes, but there were airplanes back then, so I'm not that old. So it's one of the things that we see a lot now, and it's been around for years, are these fly-in programs, and they're usually programs where colleges are trying to reach out to students who are traditionally underrepresented on their campuses, whether that's Black and Brown students, whether that's LGBTQ students, whether that's students who come from a rural area. Whether they need more women on their campus. So some colleges have what they call fly-ins. The fly-ins vary, so you really have to go on the website and see what each college will offer. Sometimes, they're offering you full transportation and 2 or 3 days on their college campus to learn more about that college life and the academics on that campus. And they will, excuse me. And a lot of times, you do have the opportunity to talk to other students. But like I said, every college does it differently. So you need to go on to this website, look at the eligibility requirements for students, and look at the dates. Please pay attention to the deadlines. Again, you can either use the URL on here, or just take your phone and put it up there to scan that QR code, and it will take you right to the college Greenlight fly-in and diversity programs. And there are tons of them, and they're coming, and they update them on a regular basis. So I really, really hope people take advantage of this, because this is an opportunity to learn about a school that may not have been on your radar screen. For whatever reason, you just felt that it wasn't a school that was for you, and you didn't know about it. And you really thought, I would love to visit the school before I actually apply to it. And this is an opportunity to do so. So again, College Greenlight, fly-in programs. Colleges all across the United States are participating in this, and you can see who is participating by going to this URL or by scanning the QR code that you see on the screen. And let's see. Now, earlier I was talking about school counselors. I'm a professional school counselor. I love being a school counselor. I am still a member of the American School Counselor Association, otherwise known as ASCA, which is the premier organization that advocates for school counselors, that sets the standards for school counseling curriculum, and that is just everything for school counselors. So one of the things I remember as a school counselor is we didn't always have the opportunity to have professional development that was geared towards school counseling. So if professional development was being given at our high school, a lot of times it was more in one of the discipline areas. Maybe it was something for English, or maybe it was something around a new math program or a new policy or what have you. But there were a lot of times there wasn't something that was for school counselors to help us help our kids. And then sometimes when there are opportunities for school counselors to learn about colleges and what have you, Administrators have decided that counselors need to be in the building at all times. And the reason I say this is, as an independent educational consultant, I have the opportunity to visit colleges. So when colleges are doing fly-ins, or when an organization like SACAC or organization like IECA has put together a tour of colleges, I'm able to make my own schedule and go. Unfortunately for school counselors, if the tours are during the school day, during the school year, a lot of times they're not afforded the ability to go and visit these schools. And it's great. There is nothing better than stepping foot on a campus and having the opportunity to learn about that campus through a school counselor lens or through an independent educational consultant's lens, rather than through the tours that families go on, because it is different for us. We have different questions. We're looking for different information. We're always looking for data, which was probably makes some of the admissions folks crazy, but we're always looking for data. So it's how do we learn more about this? I read about this opportunity earlier on LinkedIn, and I said, "Oh, I have to make sure people know about this, because as much as the work I do with students is important, it's important to me also that the people who work with students in schools get information that helps them." Now, at one point, I used to teach at Providence College in their counselor education program, and one of the things we knew is that probably, I don't know, 90, maybe 95%, I don't know what the percentage is anymore, of counselor education programs do not have a course in college admission counseling. So let me say that again to make sure that you hear that. You're a school counselor, you're working in a high school, you have a master's degree in counselor education, but the program that you went to did not have a course in college admission counseling. So how do school counselors learn about college admission counseling if they don't learn it through their master's program? A lot of times it's learning on the job, coming in, reading, hitting the ground, running. I mean, that's how it was for me. I was so fortunate when I became a school counselor that one of my colleagues next door to me, Eddie Cronin. Eddie, if you ever hear this, you were such a lifesaver when I first started as a school counselor. But I was in his office, I felt like during application season, like every other minute, like asking him questions about this. So what I couldn't find on my own in books. So remember, that was kind of back in the day before we had all the stuff on the internet that we have now. And I would say, well, what do we do about this? How do I do this? What am I doing about this? And he was so patient with me. So this is a collaboration between American University and this academy, that will the Go Alliance Academy, with some affordable professional development for school counselors. And by affordable, I mean affordable. So there are several courses on here that I think are absolutely wonderful. I'm actually thinking about taking the one myself on career development in the 21st century. The courses are now, I think that they're half price, so they're now $99, which makes it fairly affordable for school counselors. So go on the site. Here's the URL. Learn a little bit more about it. But I know there are a couple of courses on there that I'm kind of interested in, and might be jumping on some of these. So again, if you know a school counselor, if you are a school counselor, if you have someone in your family that's a school counselor, pass this opportunity on to them. Again, it's a collaboration between American University and the Go Alliance Academy, and you could definitely find out some great information. And again, here's the URL, and here are some of the courses that are being offered on there. As you can see, creating post-secondary opportunities for all students, career development for the 21st century workforce. That's the one I think I'm interested in addition to a few others. Post-secondary exploration, match and fit. Oh my God, that is so important right now to help students with this. Financial aid programs, comparing financial aid offers and making appeals. All of these courses are so practical for high school counselors because these are all the topics that they are dealing with when they're working with their students who are preparing to go to college. So, again, if you know a school counselor, if you are a school counselor, please make sure they know about this fantastic new opportunity um, that's been provided by American University. And let's move on to the next slide. Now, I'd love it if I try to update resources on my website. So you'll see in one of the tabs there's resources. So I keep a list of resources there, preparing for college, paying for college, and then preparing for your future, looking at your career possibilities. If you're interested in some college counseling, if you know someone that is in the market for it, or you're just looking for someone, please go to my appointments tab. And if you're a prospective customer, if you're someone, who's interested and you want to find more about what it is that I do, you can make an appointment for, complimentary 30-minute appointment. And you just go right on to stepstothefuture.com, go to appointment, and you will see that there. And as we move on, I definitely invite all of you to follow me on Facebook. I post on Facebook every single day, probably 3 times a day, sometimes more. It all depends on what's going on, to get some information. I know a lot of kids aren't on Facebook and they're more on TikTok and other things. I just haven't gotten into TikTok yet. So I'm still very much Facebook, LinkedIn. Instagram is where you'll find me most of the time, between those 3 social media platforms. Also, I invite all of you to subscribe to Steps, which is my monthly newsletter. This is what it looks like if you were getting the paper copy. But what I would love is for you to register or subscribe to the newsletter and get it electronically, because it just saves on paper. I can always send you the PDF, but what I do is I add additional information when I get this. So I would love for you to do it. You can do that by subscribing at that URL, bit.ly/steps140, or QR code. Go right ahead, point your phone at that QR code. It will take you to the subscription page. And as soon as you subscribe, within 24 to 48 hours, you will have the current issue of Steps. And in this issue of Steps, there's a little surprise. There is a little giveaway, but you have to actually do what it says and send me an email with the correct answer, and you will be entered into a drawing for a gift certificate to one of my favorite new bookstores, called I Am Black Lit. So register or subscribe and go ahead so that you can be entered into that drawing for that gift certificate. So again, any questions, reach out to me. Those of you that are watching this on the replay, I thank you for watching this on the replay. I hope you found some information in here that really helped you and gave you some information that you needed to move on to that next step. And I always end up like, are there any questions, any concerns? If you don't have any right now, you know how to reach me. You can always reach me at Dr. B at Steps to the Future. And right here's my email. So you can always send me an email, Dr. B at stepstothefuture.com. And I would be more than happy to talk with you and get you and your family and your child on the way. So take care. This is Dr. B from Steps to the Future. And I really thank you so much for taking time to watch this, because you could be doing something else. So I definitely appreciate you doing this. So take care, everyone. Hope to see you next Monday, 7 p.m. Take care and have a wonderful evening.